Hello, my name is John, and I believe that military the rule can be a necessary and effective solutions in certain circumstances.
Hi, I'm Tom, and I believe that civilian rule is always the better option, as it promotes stability, democracy, and the rule of law.
I understand your perspective, Tom, but sometimes in countries with weak institutions and widespread corruption, military rule can restore order and provide stability.
I see your point, John, but the problem with military rule is that it can often become a self-perpetuating cycle, leading to long-term authoritarian rule.
That's a valid concern, but sometimes it's necessary to take that risk to prevent chaos and instability.
I understand that perspective, but I believe that it's always better to work towards strengthening civilian institutions and promoting good governance, so that the military won't have to step in and take control in the first place.
I think the military rule is the better option. In times of emergency or crisis, the military can provide quick and decisive action to restore order and stability.
I disagree. Civilian rule, based in the principle of democratic governance, allows for the participation of citizens in decision-making and the representation of diverse perspectives and interests.
But military leaders are trained to make tough decisions and prioritize the safety and security of the nation, which can be more effective than the political wrangling that occurs under civilian rule.
While that may be true in some cases, military rule often involves censorship, restriction of civil liberties, and lack of accountability. This can stifle progress and innovation and lead to a concentration of power in the hands of a few individuals, which is not good for society in the long term.
I see your point, but I still believe that in certain circumstances, military rule is necessary to enforce discipline and ensure the efficient functioning of government institutions.
That may be so, but ultimately, civilian rule is preferable as it provides for checks and balances and the peaceful transfer of power. There may be exceptions to this, but the general trend is towards the democratic civilian rule.
I understand where you're coming from, but what about countries with weak institutions and widespread corruption? In such cases, military rule may be seen as a temporary solution to restore order and provide stability.
That's a valid argument, but the problem with military rule is that it can often become a self-perpetuating cycle. The military may take control, restore order, but then refuse to step down, leading to long-term authoritarian rule.
I agree, but it's not always that simple. The road to stable and effective civilian rule can be long and challenging, and sometimes military intervention may be seen as a necessary step.
That's true, but it's important to strive for a system where the military remains under civilian control and acts as a deterrent rather than a governing body.
Exactly. It's a delicate balance, and there's no one-size-fits-all solution. The key is to strive for a system that prioritizes the rule of law, human rights, and the well-being of the citizens.
That's exactly right. And it's important to remember that even in democratic civilian rule, there can be challenges and problems, but the beauty of it is that those issues can be addressed through peaceful means such as elections, protests, and the rule of law.
As you can see, the debate over military and the civilian rule is complex and multifaceted. Both individuals have valid points, and there is no clear-cut answer. It's valid arguments on both sides. Ultimately, the best form of governance will depend on the specific circumstances of each situation. So let us know in the comments section the motion you support between the two, and consider subscribing to this channel for more debates arguments.